I was going to ask about your personal experiences.
Yeah. Well, I've tried the automatic writing, and I think, I liked what came out, but I feel like at this point because of my research and like everything that the NDEs, channelers, Seth Speaks, I can't speak highly enough about that. I don't know if I went a little further into that, but yeah, the Seth Speaks, the Eternal Validity of the Soul. That's the name of this book, and it's like this 400-something page book, and it's kind of the same. Like, they'll ask questions, they'll be back and forth, but it'll say like what Seth says, but it basically explains like literally everything.
Yep.
Everything. Yep. So I'm just like, and it just makes so much sense, and like, yeah, so like I highly recommend that. Anyway, so yeah, Seth Speaks. We were speaking about the whole like journey and how we got here and how I am. So it started with the conspiracy theory stuff, which I think basically opens you up. So I feel like that was a part of how I ended up here, because without me being open-minded to all that, which I was already like, judged by people who didn't want to believe a word of any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, in my physical life. So eventually, I just stopped telling everybody stuff, and I was just like, whatever. And so then I found myself going into the whole law of attraction and channelers and the obsession with the near-death experience, and so researching that, like, to the most I could with the time I had. In the midst of that, which was around 2020 when everything was going down, which I feel like correlates with a lot of people, by the way. Like, there's something when COVID and everything happened, there was some sort of like catalyst for a lot of people, the spiritual awakening and like stuff happening. But I tend to go all over.
It feels like the beginning of. It feels like the beginning of a countdown.
Yeah,
Jeanette
Byron, who I follow, she's a medium and channeler, and she also had a near-death experience. Who in hers, she talks about the blueprint, like how we have blueprints and like all this plan. And so, yeah, it is like Earth School and all this stuff. So like, anyway, I was going off about her, but, what I was going to say was like, yeah, so around 2020, I was, deeply into like, I have, I don't know, probably 50 spiritual books of like a combination of channelers, NDE, past life regression, like all the different stuff, like, I have, I don't really have any books heavily on, aliens and all that, which there are some that I want to reach out, but they're more connected to like, to consciousness, the spirituality aspect, which is how
Same.
That's where I'm coming from with the aliens. Like, it's all the same. So I don't know. But what I was going to say is I did have, one experience with, I guess you would call like a with spirit, and which I think, I say think, but I pretty much know that it was a child that I miscarried. I was like 10 weeks pregnant, and so it was very early on. It was an early miscarriage. It was right at the time where there's a risk anywhere from when you first are pregnant to, I guess, the 10 or 12 week mark. I can't remember, but anyway, so. It was a sad moment for me. I was expecting, and so, but I did accept it when it happened. And I already had one child, and who was young, and a lot going on there, and so I just went on with life. You know what I mean? Like I pretty much like just feel like there's a reason for everything. I've kind of always lived my life that way. Like I just accepted it. I didn't really like get hung up on like why or what, thinking something, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I wasn't like having some sort of like not PTSD, postpartum or what,
meltdown,
or like depression over it or anything like that. Like I wasn't even in that kind of state of mind when the experience happened. Like I wasn't even like in my field of thoughts or anything. But 5 years later, after the miscarriage, and at the same time as me delving into the spirituality and all this stuff, I drive a lot in my car. It's funny because I'm here now, but anyway, so I'm in my car. And with nobody in the car, I would feel like the back of my seat, like push into my seat, and it was happening for months and months. But like pretty much at the beginning when it happened, well, I was talking to my angels every day, so I'm very much connected to, like, that's kind of how I started down and getting really connected to like my inner spiritual self and soul, and connected to source and you know, my team, spirit team, and everything, you know, like. But I talk to my angels like a lot, so I really connected with them early on. That's, I guess, what I was doing there. So anyway, so I was, you know, asking for their help and things like that, you know what I mean, like in life and things like that. So I thought it was just them at first, like one of my angels, and then but pretty quick, because it was the same thing, and then I realized that the child was fine.
Yeah, spirit will nudge you.
You're just the age where the feet
that.
start to like reach the seat, and like they're kicking, you know, and you're having to tell a child, you know, get your feet out of the seat or whatever, you know. So I don't know, I just knew, like, oh gosh, I thought that was cool, and but yeah, so that was going on for a few months. So that, I feel like that was like just a little open for me, like to say, hey, you know, validation. But like,
it's crazy that it can do that.
Yeah, but like little things
they do all
the
kinds
time.
of
Like I'll just see like signs that say something, you know, very specific, but numbers, like
synchronicities.
Like, I mean, constant. And so like, it seems like, I don't know, like even today, like I was seeing, I didn't take pictures, but normally I take a lot of pictures, and I like log all this shit. I have a whole channel and out in the Hello Alley just stored for her. But yeah, so it's
for signs and stuff.
Yeah, synchronicities basically.
Yeah.
But it's just so fun, you know.
Yeah.
To do.
No, I get it. I was like really sad one day, and I like went outside to walk just because I was feeling so like ugh. And then I like look over, and as soon as I glance my head, it's like somebody's like pickup truck, and I'm trying to remember what it said, but it was abbreviated or short, but it was like everything's gonna work out or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the hell? I was like that. It made me laugh.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
And
it's so
weird.
weird.
And like to have the sense of the gratitude after the thing, it's just a self-feeding loop. You know what I mean? Like where you're just like, it's like, oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. You know, and then you feel awesome, and the next thing
They keep you going.
Yeah, it's really fun. I do feel like it's all connected.